Good morning. I am Molly Brinkerhoff, today's worship associate. Welcome to this morning, this day, and this opportunity to be virtually together in community. Welcome whether you are a longtime attendee to this church or this is your very first time. This online service is being brought to you by Reverend Jackie, Drew White, and myself from the church's sanctuary. Please bear with us if everything doesn't flow smoothly. We are continuing to learn new aspects of this process as we go through this difficult time. We have quite a few weekly announcements, so please be patient. First, we would like everyone to please sign in on the chat box to the right of your screen. This will let us know who is joining us, and quite a few people have already done that. I especially want to welcome Judy Stanley. Glad she is on with us today. We will be having sorrows, concerns, and joys. If you have a sorrow, concern, or joy you'd like to share, as soon as possible, post it in the chat box, and it will be read and a candle lit. When you share one in the chat box, please first indicate if it is a sorrow, concern, or joy. I have a couple of church service related announcements. On June 28th, our congregation and congregations all over the country have been invited to join the UUA General Assembly Sunday morning worship. The Reverend Joan Javier Duval, minister of the Unitarian Church of Montpelier, Vermont, is leading the service, along with Reverend Michael Slack, community minister for worship and spiritual care for Black Lives of Unitarian Universalists. I've been to a number of GA worship services, and they have all been wonderful. So on June 28th, our church will not be having an online service, and encourage everyone to attend this GA service. A link will be provided in our weekly update and on our website. Also, to give the worship and tech team a break, the church will not be providing services for the month of July. This is to get the worship and tech teams re-energized for when Reverend Kevin joins us in August. The worship team encourages you to attend online services at other congregations. Links to other churches will be provided in weekly updates. More information will be forthcoming. And then Unitarian Universalist Church in Idaho Falls online services will resume on August 2nd. Members, friends, and guests are invited to participate in this coming Thursday, June 18th, Zoom get-together, which starts at 7:30 p.m. That evening's discussion will be about the topic of justice, based upon short articles from the Unitarian Universalist religious journal called Touchstones. The Touchstones journal is our denomination's approach to articulating a liberal theology. Reverend Ziegler will facilitate this discussion. A Zoom link will be sent out on Tuesday, June 15th to members and friends, and it will be posted on our Facebook page. Included will be a link to the Touchstone Journal about justice. Now for parents and grandparents, there will be a virtual family worship service at noon on Tuesday, June 23rd. Parents are welcome to join their children or grandparents in the half-hour service with lots of time for sharing with each other in community. Please RSVP to Elizabeth Cugliari for the Zoom link. Also, again, for children, there will be a vacation Lego camp held virtually the week of July 20th. Children will learn about the 6 UU sources through play with Lego blocks. Sounds fun. More details will be announced soon. Again, RSVP to Elizabeth Cugliari. And then finally, today's congregational moment. This month's Change for Change is again the Idaho Falls Community Food Basket, since this program is being overwhelmed by the dire need of food insecurity in our small town. Please donate during the offertory. We will now move into the sacred time of worship. As I ring the peace bowl 3 times, take deep breaths and relax so you we can move into worship. For this moment in time, let go of your anxieties, your fears, and your worries. Be in this moment.
Good morning. I want to introduce our prelude because it's a little different than the song that I sang to myself when I first became aware that I was going to be your interim minister. The song was Side to Side, but it was that perky one. Oh, we're moving along, singing a song, side by side. Very perky. However, this song, or this rendition of Side by Side, is more like a love song. It's a love song to the person you're with all the time, or someone that you want to be with. And I invite you, as you listen to it today, to think of it's a love song for all of you from me. A collective you. Let's hear Jessica sing. This is Jessica Molaski sing, Side by Side.
Through all kinds of weather, what if the sky should fall? Just as long as we're together, it doesn't matter at all. Oh, we ain't got a barrel of money. Maybe we're ragged and funny, but we travel along, singing a song, side by side. Don't know what's coming tomorrow. Maybe it's trouble and sorrow, but we'll travel the road, sharing our load, side by side.
See that sun in the morning peeking over the hill. I bet you're sure it always has, and sure it always will. That's how I feel about someone.
That's how I feel about
how somebody feels about me.
Somebody feels about
We're sure we love each other. That's the way
we'll always be. Oh, through all kinds of weather, what if the sky should fall? Just as long as we're together, it just doesn't matter at all. When they've all had their quarrels and parted, we'll be the same as we started, just traveling
Since we are not all together, I will read our church covenant for us all, as it is printed in the order of service. If you like, feel free to read it along with me. Love is the spirit of this community, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. We will be lighting our chalice, and if you have a chalice or a candle available, please light yours with me. If you don't have one immediately available, we invite you to consider having one for future service so you can light a chalice or candle within your own home. The chalice lighting is by Katie Gelfin. It's called The End is the Beginning. We call forth the life of our faith by igniting our chalice. This spark of new beginnings invites us into a sacred space to reflect where we have been and where we are going. Even knowing that this particular flame will intentionally and with our ritual extinguishing, we fear not its end. For we know with brave hearts that from every ending of our lives, we are sent forth to make a new beginning. Sorry, I'm trying to get my papers up.
Our opening words come from a meditation by my colleague, the Reverend Richard Gilbert, that I have adapted, and it's called In-Betweenness. We live in between festivals of gratitude and joy, in between seasons of contrasting color, and between floods of brightness and seas of whiteness. We live on a remote island outpost in fathomless space, between stars and moons and planets and void, surrounded by meteors, comets, rays, and nothingness, in which there is no right or left or down, only betweenness. We live not quite at the apex of joy, nor in the nether of sorrow, but in the moving space between, uncertain of our location. We live walking from city of birth to death, hoping along the way to see something of beauty, to touch hands with those we love in person or virtually, to give more than we get, to make some sense of it all. We live in betweennesses of beginnings to endings, from endings to beginnings. Let there be thanks for these. Yes, thanks be for these, life's holy times. And good people, now please join in singing the opening hymn 322, Thanks Be for These, played and sung to by Jessica Cooper. And to familiarize you with the melody, she will play the hymn through one time, and then you're invited to join in singing with her. And that song was sent to you in a PDF earlier.
Thanks be for these life's holy times.
This is a very special time in our congregation where each of us has an opportunity to share major events in our lives, our joys, our concerns, and our sorrows, so that we can all be uplifted by our UU community. I'm going to light a red candle first to give people time to post their joys, concerns, and sorrows in the chat box. I light a red candle for the following, which is affecting our country. For all those affected by this global pandemic here in America and around the world. For all the peaceful protesters who are tired of the injustices against people of color. For the good policemen who have to deal with the wrongdoings of bad policemen. And now I will light candles. If you have a joy, concern, or sorrow, I will check the chat box. Might take a second. Since we're waiting for to see if any candles of joys come in, I noticed in the chat box that it was talking about the songs. You should have received it yesterday in the order of, it's on the same email as the order of service. Oh, okay, I have one joy from Elizabeth Cogliati. She and Josh will be married 20 years on Wednesday. Congratulations. Pam Lilburn for the continued recovery on Judy Stanley. And I second that. Okay. We will light one more candle for all those sorrows, concerns, and joys we hold in our hearts and are not ready to share at this time. No, we lift up our love for you, and we are all in this together. Oh, wait a minute, one more sorrow. From Rob Logan, sorrow that we cannot be at the church today for Reverend Jackie's last service. And I'm sorry about that too. Okay. Our offering words are by Kayla Parker. We know that our financial contributions to this congregation come from sacrifice and hard work. We are so grateful for this and commit together to ensure the funds we gather collectively to do a greater good for ourselves and our world than we could have done alone. May there be an offering to sustain and grow the life and mission of this congregation. May we give in love and in hope. And remember, today is our Change for Change that's going to the community food basket. While we listen to Colors of Goodbye by Tom Frank, there are several ways you can donate. On the screen, there is a photo of our website showing where you can make your offering. And especially today, make sure that you mark whether it's a pledge or Change for Change. But you are also welcome to send it to the church as well, and that information is on our website and should be in your email that you received. So now we will be listening to Colors of Goodbye. We gratefully receive any offering that was given. And because online services are a little bit delayed, several more joys and sorrows came in, and I'd like to share those before, and we'll light a candle for those. One is from Roby Cartmel. Bob and I are sad to see Reverend Jackie's service ended. And from Karen and David Shropshire, they have a joy. Their daughter Jennifer Williams Brookhart, most of you don't remember her, but I do, who grew up here in the UUCIF, was laid off from her job in April after applying like crazy in many video interviews. She just accepted a great job. Congratulations, Jennifer. From Amanda Logan, she too is sorry about seeing Reverend Jackie leave and not being there in person for her last service. Bill and another one just popped in. Bill and Cindy Miller, also late for us to be part of Joys and Concerns, but would have acknowledged Reverend Jackie for how welcoming she was for us when we came here. She's been a true blessing for us. So those are all really great sorrows. That sounds weird, but very nice sorrows. Okay, so hopefully if any more come in, I will share those with you later. But now we have something new that we've not done before. We're giving it a try. We're going to have a time for all ages, and it's Elizabeth is reading it, and it's by Corey Doerfield. Goodbye, friend. Hello, friend.
Today's Time for All Ages is Goodbye Friend, Hello Friend by Corey Doerfield. Bye, Mom. Every goodbye leads to a hello. Hi, I'm Charlie. Goodbye to sitting alone is hello to sitting together. Goodbye to outside is hello to inside. Goodbye to snowmen is hello to puddles. Goodbye to long walks, butterflies, and the sun is hello to long talks, fireflies, and the stars. Goodbye to an empty bowl is hello to a full heart. Goodbye to only watching is hello to joining in. Goodbye to almost giving up is hello to one more try. Goodbye to superpowers is hello to sweet dreams. But sometimes when you least expect it, a goodbye comes along that really feels like the end. Sometimes goodbye is the last thing you want to say, like when goodbye to holding tight is hello to letting go. Bye, Charlie. But no matter what, goodbye to today is hello to tomorrow. Because every goodbye leads to a hello. Hi, I'm Stella. Every goodbye leads to a hello. Thank you for joining us for Time for All Ages today. I hope you enjoy the rest of the service.
Well, good people, we've come full circle together. Today is what I came to do in September of 2018, ultimately to do, that is, to leave. Do you remember me saying back then, the bad news is that I am leaving, and the good news is that I am leaving? And now I truly am leaving. However, though I am excited, this doesn't mean my leave-taking is easy. Many of you have told me that you'll miss me, And I can say from the bottom of my heart, I will miss you too. Indeed, I've been feeling really weepy these past few weeks, and hearing the joy and the concern shared this morning about my coming and going makes it even harder. And I've had an exceptionally hard time creating this reflection. Of course, my departure will mean different things for different people. For some who have journeyed or joined this congregation during the last 2 years, I may be your minister of record here, and my leaving may be something of a wrench. For those who've seen ministers come and go, my leaving may be a matter of indifference. And no doubt, there may be a few who say, thank God it's over, okay? Now, our time was intentionally temporarily. That's part of the job of the interim minister. We come to congregations with a job to help guide and direct the congregation in an intentional process of change. I have carried out the normal responsibilities of congregational ministry, as well as being a trained, empowering guide for you during this ministerial transition time. With the departure of Reverend Lynn Stranglin Cameron, one chapter of your congregation's life ended, and another chapter was waiting to be written. The time between Reverend Lynn and your incoming new minister, Reverend Kevin Carson, has been a liminal period. Not quite this, not quite that yet, that kind of time. It's been a time rich with opportunities for deepening understandings and experimenting with different creative approaches to congregational life. I believe this liminal time has been a positive transition time. Seeds have been planted and positive energy nurtured. Perhaps you realize that dreaming was a significant part of our work together. During this time together, you voiced your hopes, your dreams for what you'd like the future to be. You noted those hopes and dreams in congregational meetings about bylaws, in congregational meetings with the search committee, and in the search committee's congregational survey you filled out, letting them know what your more specific dreams were for a new minister. In the beginning, you dreamt dreams. I worked with you on developmental interim tasks, another way of dreaming. As your temporary shepherd, as those of my profession are often referred to, I've been your companion in grieving losses, help you honor your history, facilitated needed conversations, and lifted up challenges into the light as gently as possible. I've studied your beloved congregation with clear eyes, gave you an honest assessment of your weaknesses and strengths, and pointed to areas where change would be beneficial, provided a thread of continuity during your time of change, created a greater awareness and a tangible connection to even the wider fabric of our beloved movement. I sought to both nurture and enrich your worship life and working community. We've worked and walked together on expanding your beloved community's perception of itself and identity, as together you sought to live out your UU principles in creating a just and inclusive world. I asked questions like, what is your dream for this congregation's future? And what makes this religious community matter to people? And I let those questions help guide the board and other leaders as they considered the health and future of this congregation. I tried to lead from a place of letting go, knowing that this is not my congregation, and the answers had to come from you and be implemented by you if your beloved congregation was to survive. One bottom line goal has been to help enhance this beautiful congregation's future health and well-being so as to increase the possibility that your next called minister, Reverend Carson, will be successful. Over the past 2 years, I've learned the history of this amazing congregation, and I've been in awe of what you've accomplished, going from a fellowship attitude to becoming a full-service congregation with professional ministers, purchasing this building and paying off the mortgage in a relatively short period of time, having a religious education program for children and youth and adults, by creating a director of religious education and exploration position, and becoming known in the larger community as the justice-seeking and serving congregation in Idaho Falls. You have been movers and shakers, initiators of many justice goals, becoming the home, for example, for PFLAG, the community, the starting location of Pride, of the Pride Parade, and doing Add the Words on the bridge. So many other things, too, that I can't take time to say now. I've been struck with the clarity of purpose, grace, creativity, and tenacity that you use to come through various challenges and losses. And today, you are a strong, healthy, vibrant religious community because of that. I was somewhat concerned whether or not you'd be able to be a vibrant religious community because of the need to go from in-person services to online services, which has the potential for a congregation to slowly dissolve. But every indication I've seen is that that will not happen, that you will continue to be strong, healthy, and vibrant, and even grow in numbers. Whether you realize it or not, you have shown a willingness to adapt, forgive, rebound, move ahead, and keep dreaming. This willing spirit is what makes you a congregation to be taken seriously. A congregation that not only will survive, but one that will thrive. A congregation that will create a new dream and work to birth that dream. A congregation of deep commitment to one another and to the larger community. A congregation with the potential to be part of the transformation of Idaho Falls even more, and Bonneville County, this state, this country, and indeed the world. All of these qualities will help you face the changes yet to come. Yes, more changes are coming. You all know that more change is a guarantee, a given. I know that you know that change always comes when there is an ending. And an ending means a beginning, and beginnings bring change. It's important that at times like this, to remember that beginnings and endings are always stuck or paired together. Beginnings arise out of endings. For example, school graduation exercises are called commencement, because to graduate is not only to end one phase of life, but also to begin, to commence a new phase. Birth follows death. The birth of spring can come only after the death of winter. The poet Dean Zametzger succinctly states this idea, saying, as only a poet can, the universe says loss demands birth, and the two are lovers. With me, you are coming to the end of yet another chapter, and with your new minister, the Reverend Kevin Carson, you will be beginning a new chapter in the story of this congregation's existence. So this is an ending with a beautiful beginning. Beginning a new chapter with a newly called minister and new dreams to be dreamt. You know, I believe that it is the hand of the spirit of love that guides the future. And the Spirit of love's hand will guide, comfort, and hold you as you help one another through all the changes that surely will come as this beloved community dreams and writes another chapter. I've brought change, and in some ways that challenged you and me. Yet, good people, for me, they have been wonderful opportunities. For one of the opportunities I have come to love most about interim ministry is having the privilege of being the one that reminds people of all the important work they do. Good people, it has been a joy to witness the incredible amount you have accomplished these past 2 years and to reflect upon the profound difference you have made in my life, in each other's life, and in the world. Since interim ministers are hired to be consultants, we're in the advice-giving business, and you've already heard a lot from me in this department, I know that. Nevertheless, as this is my last chance, sort of like being in the bully pulpit, I want to offer some last advice. So here it goes. Please bear with me. I encourage you to let go. This is counsel I offer to every congregation I serve. Sometimes we have to let go of our personal agendas for the greater good of the congregation. When your new minister, Reverend Carson, comes, he will want the opportunity to do some things differently, to be his authentic self as a professional minister. I encourage you to welcome his different approaches. Let go and let him be perfectly imperfect. Though most of you heard me share this at the wonderful thank you party you gave to me, so to speak, at our women's group, I want to share it again. It's worth hearing more than once to let go. Let go comes to, let me share, a classic parable from Clinton Lee Scott's book called Parish Parables. This parable goes, Now it came to pass that while the elder in Israel tarried at Babylon, a message came from a distant city saying, Come thou and counsel us with and help us to search out a priest, for he that did serve us has gone mad. He sent the message back with a query of his own. I know some of whom might serve you. Tell me more about he that you seek. And they answered and said unto him, We seek a young man, yet with the wisdom of gray hairs, one that speaketh his mind freely, yet giveth offense to no one, one that draweth multitude, yet will not be displeased when we ourselves are absent on the Sabbath day. We desire one that hath a joyful mood, yet is sober in mind, one that seeketh out dark sayings and prophecies, yet speaketh not over our heads, one that filleth the church and built it up, yet defile not the sanctuary with Ethiopians and other foreigners. We seek one that putteth first the instruction of the young, yet requireth not that we become teachers, one that causes the treasury to prosper, yet asketh not that we give more of our substance. Verily, we seek a prophet that will be unto us a leader, and will not seek to change us, for we like not to be disturbed. And the elder in Israel answered and said unto them, When I have found such a prophet, I will send him unto you. Yet will ye have to wait long, for the mother of such a one has not yet been born. Once Reverend Carson has been here for a while, some people might be tempted to stop coming to services and events because they're not happy with his style of ministry, because he's different. Now, that is not an unusual experience when a new minister arrives. Nonetheless, if that happens for you, I encourage you to come, to continue to come. Be with your friends. Give time the opportunity to accept changes that have come. Let your friends nurture and support you through the changes. Next, I encourage you to root out every trace of scarcity thinking. For example, that because of not being able to do your in-person auction because of COVID, that you won't have enough money to fund your budget. That's scarcity thinking. I encourage you to explore this, to ask yourself if that really is accurate. And if that is true, let it go. Let go of what you think that's not possible. Dream instead the impossible dream through an offer of an online auction, which I know is already being talked about. The truth is that you can do it. I encourage you to make a conscious decision about what size you want to be. Do you want to stay a congregation of about 77 members, or do you really want to grow? Of course you're going to tell me, well, absolutely we want to grow. And indeed, over the past 2 years you have grown. However, I see there's no reason on earth that you cannot grow even more, particularly as you partner with your new minister. But long-term growth and vitality, for it, you need to make a conscious decision, a decision not to stay small. Small because it's comfortable and familiar to stay small, because growing means more change. This congregation should not be the UU Social Club of Idaho Falls. Now, it's not that fellowship and social activities aren't important. They're essential to community, in my humble opinion. But to grow, both in number and spirit, you must decide that Unitarian Universalism as a faith is too good to keep to yourselves. And that means change. It's meant to be shared with others who may be seeking the kind of spiritual home you offer. Now, good people, if that sounds like evangelism, well, I say, hallelujah! What good news can you bring to the hungry, the oppressed, the exploited? What can you do to bind up the brokenhearted, to break down the walls that imprison body, mind, and spirit? What hospitality can you turn to those who are turned away from other places? And one final thing I'd like to raise up, and that's Sunday attendance. It's true that we don't take attendance or keep track on Sunday mornings if you're going to be here or not. We don't give out pins for perfect attendance, nor do we exactly penalize anyone for not attending. But good people, when you don't show up, the congregation suffers. UUCIF is first and foremost a worshiping committee or community. Worship meaning, from a liberal religious perspective, to lift up the highest and holiest of human values. The Sunday service is at the heart of your life together. It what distinguishes you from social clubs and civic organizations, worthy as they are. When you don't participate on Sunday, whether that is in person or online services, your absence is felt in very palpable ways. Without your presence, this beloved congregation cannot be all it is meant to be. And I encourage you not to approach the services as a consumer. Don't make the decision to attend based on whether or not the sermon topic personally interests you or on what you'll be able to get out of the service. Attend because of the unique gifts you offer, because your in-person or online presence makes a difference to someone else. So enough advice from me. That's it, I promise, okay? As for me, my ending with you is a beautiful beginning for me too. For I will be moving back to Laramie, Wyoming for a little while. And after serving my calling to ministry as a community minister for 5 years, and then as a parish minister in various forms for 20 years, I will formally retire on September 1st. This congregation, being my last professional ministerial position, has been a gift. I'm incredibly happy and satisfied to be able to end my career having worked with all of you. I have some dreams for what I want to accomplish during this last chapter of my life, such as being a fundraiser for nonprofit organizations that defend animals and the environment, being an activist promoting ways to combat and reduce the effects of climate change for future generations, and for all the life that's on this beautiful blue-green planet Earth, our home. And I want to become a saging counselor. I'm looking forward to finally spending more real time with my beloved husband, Daniel. When it becomes possible that COVID is no longer the degree of threat that it is now, I want to go with him to see more of the wilderness and wildness places of the United States and elsewhere. Good people, I'm really looking forward to being able to see Idaho's wilderness and wildness places. 2 years, I haven't been hardly any place. Now I say that, but the truth is, I'm very apprehensive. Will I be happy not working as a minister anymore? My identity for 25 years has been that of a minister. And every time I read or hear something, I say to myself, still, how can I use that in a reflection or a sermon? I know change is coming. Right now I'm agonizing about giving up books and magazines. They were the tools of my ministry. I say goodbye to you with gratitude for who you are, with awe, and what your faith has done, with hope for all that lies before you. I say goodbye to you, which really is just a shortened version of an ancient blessing for times for parting. Goodbye was originally, God be with you. So good people, excuse me, God be with you. Spirit be with you. Peace be with you. Love be with you. My ministry with you has been in service to these things too. Things larger than the life of any of us. And so I let go. But these stay, and I hope they will guide you on your way from here. And dream into reality what you think is an impossible dream. Hear now Jessica, our lovely Jessica, sing to you to dream the impossible dream.
Climb every mountain, search high and low, follow every byway, every path you know. Climb every mountain, ford every stream, follow every rainbow, till you find your dream, a dream that will need all the love you can give. Every day of your life, for as long as you live. Climb every mountain, ford every stream, follow
Good people, it wasn't the song really wasn't to dream the impossible dream. That's at the end. It was climb every mountain, as you heard, to dream still. Anyways, I invite you to go online and retrieve from online the document, A Mutual Release for Our Interim Ministry Covenant. And once it's up, I will begin, as you'll see, and then Molly will lead you, along with Andrew here, the congregational words to share. I will begin. When I came to serve this congregation in September of 2018, we marked the beginning of this interim ministry by making promises to one another about how we would be together. Thus, we created the essence of a covenant. It is right to mark the ending of such a relationship, and today we do that.
Please join me. We welcomed you. We promised you to use our hands and hearts, our vision and voices to help and not to harm this community through this time of transition. We promise to share our portions of truth with you and promise to listen deeply to what you would say to us. We let you know what we would dare to disagree agreeably with you, to dream what we might become, and to venture down some untried paths as we set out to make ready for new called ministry.
I too promise to share my portion of truth with you and promise to listen deeply to what you would say. I let you know that I would dare to speak hard truths to you as best as I could discern them, to hold up a mirror so that you could see your past and present future clearly, and to make some empty space here for the new to enter in.
You have made our concerns your concerns and led us, as you were able, in the paths of understanding and right relations. We have looked to you for leadership, insight, and guidance.
You have entrusted me, or to me, the deep concerns of your lives. You have worked side by side with me, and we have sought together to live lives of integrity and worth.
We recognize that the professional ministry of this congregation is fulfilled not by one minister, but by many ministers who have come here before and ministers who are still to come. Knowing this, we hereby release you, Jacqueline Ziegler, from your covenant with us. We pledge to greet Reverend Kevin Carson, our newly called minister, with open hearts. We send you on your way and wish you well. We will honor your gifts to us by sharing them with others.
When I came, you pledged your support to support me and work with me as together we would carry forward the ministry of this congregation. I now release you from your covenant with me and return to you for safekeeping the free pulpit of this congregation. Good people, know that I will always keep you in my heart. May all your dreams for this beloved congregation come true. And now I invite you to join in singing the closing hymn, very special one for me. It was sent out in the PDF. It's called Till We Meet Again, and I'm sure you're familiar with the melody. It's a very old melody, and Jessica's going to play it, just a little part of it to start out with, and then I invite you to join in singing. It was a PDF, as I mentioned, that was sent out earlier. It was sent out in the email that had the link to the Sunday service and the order of service. It's there.
I will now extinguish our chalice with the following words. If you wish, join me in reciting the reading. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. After the service, I invite you to participate in the 30-minute virtual coffee hour. Give us a few minutes to get it set up. The link was sent out in an email yesterday, and the same one that was in the order of service, but Drew is going to also put it in the chat line. So we hope to see you in a few minutes after Reverend Jackie's closing words and our postlude.
My closing words go back to my internship minister, the Reverend Michael Schuler. He wrote, "We have reached the end of this time for the gathering of memory and for letting the imagination play with future possibilities. We have enjoyed magic moments and edified them. Shall it be concluded then? Or will this adventure now commence? Continue? Our separate paths, converging, meeting, merging, in the unending quest for love more perfect, the joyous struggle for meaning more sufficient, and life more abundant. Is this ending to be an ending, or merely prelude to a new, more glorious beginning? I pose the question. In your hearts lie the answer. And now I invite you to listen to the song, to dream the impossible dream, because the service has been about dreams and endings and beginnings and love. And I hope you enjoy it, by Jim Neighbors.
To dream the impossible dream, to fight the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave dare not go, right the unrightable wrong, to love pure and chaste from afar, to try when your arms are too weary, to reach the unreachable star. This is my quest, to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to fight for the right without question or pause, to be willing to march into hell for a heavenly cause. And I know if I'll only be true to this glorious quest, that my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I'm laid to my rest, and the world will be better for this, that one man, scorned and covered with scars, still strove with his last ounce of courage to reach the unreachable star, to dream the impossible dream, to fight the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave dare not go, to run where the brave dare not go, though the road be forever too high, to try, know your way what and weary, to reach the unreached